Justin Trudeau arrived in Europe last night to find a continent poised to host the NATO and G7 summits, but also bracing for the uncertainty that has arrived here on Air Force One. The NATO leaders are going to focus heavily on terrorism and military spending, but the run-up to these meetings has been dominated by talk of how to deal with the predictably unpredictable Donald Trump. Trump has been publicly critical of NATO while also praising Russia at a time while Russia has annexed Crimea and stands accused of meddling in elections in Europe and the United States, perhaps even helping Trump's own campaign. The NATO leaders will want to hear Trump voice support for NATO and its mutual defense pact. The president will want to hear NATO members promise to boost their military spending. The Americans provide the bulk of NATO's budget, and Trump has made it repeatedly clear that he feels that many countries aren't pulling their weight. It's a claim that can be applied to Canada, which has not lived up to the NATO demand to spend 2% of GDP on defense, and it's a claim Justin Trudeau is prepared to rebut. The Prime Minister will argue that Canada more than pulls its weight in NATO by serving in missions and deployments. Notably, this year, Canada will be part of a NATO mission to Latvia, which will serve as a tripwire against Russian aggression. Trudeau will also point to Canada's soon-to-be-released defense policy that will outline an increase in spending through big equipment purchases. Now, Trudeau is expected to make that argument at the full meeting of leaders, but also directly with Trump if the two leaders find the time to meet privately. It will require some nimble diplomacy from Trudeau, especially with free trade negotiations set to begin at home, as the Prime Minister has to defend Canada's interests at NATO without poisoning the well for NAFTA. David Cochran, CBC News, Brussels.